Hey everyone, I hope you guys are enjoying Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak and whichever platform you're choosing to play it on. And today I wanted to quickly go over some new interesting details that we got specifically from Capcom as the latest fiscal report has officially been released. This essentially covers January 1st all the way through March 31st. Interestingly enough, now they take about 2.5 months to put out their fiscal reports, where before, I believe it took about a month and a half for these companies to essentially put out other details. We recently saw Nintendo mention that they're up to 120 plus million Nintendo Switches sold and everything along those lines. Square Enix had their fiscal report as well. Sales are not necessarily doing all that well. They're actually hoping that Final Fantasy 16 saves them, since fiscally they're not necessarily doing all that great. But when it comes to Capcom, they recently put out that as of the launch of 35 different IQs, Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak on all platforms, they're not even saying anymore Nintendo Switch or Steam, they just mean across all platforms, and Resident Evil 4 have been their biggest record breakers, with north of 42 million units sold. So just think about that. Just 42 million copies of games have been sold, which of course translates to multiples of money, north of $60, of course, which is they usually charge at the end of the day for most games. But of course, Sunbreak is a $40 enterprise, and I believe if you bought it originally with Rise introduced, I believe it was a $70 or $80 package. 80 if it was physical, 70 if you purchased it bundled together for PlayStation, Xbox, and PC Windows. So they have been doing extremely well. They also specifically mentioned and put out a little bit of a chart there that you should be able to see that many of their catalog titles, specifically like older, both base Monster Hunter Rise, Resident Evil Village, Devil May Cry, were like another 30 million units were sold worldwide specifically. So, you know, a lot of their record-breaking numbers specifically come to that regard, and they have recently also confirmed that Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak specifically is now north of 5.5 million copies sold. That includes all platforms, Switch and PC via Steam, but also includes the newest PlayStation, Xbox, and PC Windows, which of course I believe that as of the time of these fiscal reports, they were not out at the time. So you know, they are kind of not necessarily telling us a whole story, since some of those later versions would have not, you know, released as of the time of these fiscal reports. I believe those ended up dropping, I believe, late April, so about a month or so afterwards is when these fiscal reports dropped. So we don't necessarily have any full information. They do specifically mention that they are very happy with the sales on Xbox and PlayStation. They don't necessarily mention PC Windows, probably because if you buy it on Xbox, you already get it on PC Windows type of a thing. So we don't necessarily know there. They're just specifically saying that they're happy with the sales for Sunbreak in that regard. Now, base Monster Hunter Rise is now, of course, north of 16 million copies as of the time of this latest fiscal report as well. So at the end of the day, you know, Rise is doing extremely healthy. Certainly sales were boosted by the PlayStation, Xbox, and, you know, PC release later after the Nintendo Switch launch. But of course, you know, at the end of the day, the game is doing extremely healthy. Now, it's never going to really catch up to World or Iceborne or anything like that. It doesn't necessarily seem like that's going to be the case. Also, the staggered release isn't necessarily helping either. But of course, that is just kind of to be expected. So once again, massive sales for Capcom, record-breaking sales for Monster Hunter, and it has now pretty much become the staple franchise for Capcom alongside Resident Evil and of course Street Fighter. At the end of the day, it is the big trio, but Monster Hunter certainly is holding its own, and certainly when you can tally it up all the, you know, final sales, Monster Hunter is definitely doing a little bit better than other major Capcom staples. But that's about all the information that I have for you guys today. I'm going to be leaving a link in the description below for the original Capcom original fiscal sales report, and pretty much all the information they provided us within. If you're brand new to my channel, though, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Hit the bell to receive notifications when the videos go up. And as always, thank you so much for watching. See ya.